Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Free to Believe. Please welcome the President of the Family Research Council, Tony Perkins.
Hello and welcome to the headquarters of the Family Research Council here in Washington, D.C. We're excited to have churches and culture impact teams joining us from every state in the nation today. Today is National Religious Freedom Day, and I can't think of a better way to celebrate our religious freedom than by gathering in churches across the nation for the noble task of preserving what our founders declared to be our first freedom. Our freedom to believe and live according to those beliefs. And not just for ourselves, but for future generations. This Free to Believe webcast is being brought to you by the Family Research Council and Vision America. And joining me today as my co-host is the president of Vision America, Dr. Rick Scarborough. We're going to bring Rick in from our studio upstairs. Rick, welcome.
Pleasure to be with you today, Tony.
You know, Rick, we deal with a lot of public policy and cultural issues here in Washington, D.C. But I would have to say that the greatest threat facing our nation today is this threat to religious freedom. And I want to ask you, am I overstating that issue?
Not at all, Tony. All of our freedoms are underpinned by the freedom to believe, the freedom to practice and carry out our beliefs in the public place. But you are absolutely dead on. That freedom is under assault on a number of quarters.
You have been traveling the country, working with pastors and churches to help them understand, number one, the threat, but number two, what they can do. What do you see happening across America?
I see a quickening among the remnant. I would love to say that the majority of the pastors are getting it now, but the reality is it's still a remnant. But you know, God has never done his work through majorities. He's always worked through a dedicated minority who is willing to stand up, speak up, and refuse to give up. And we are defining that remnant today.
Well, Dr. Scarborough, we're glad to have you partnering with us in this Free to Believe conference. Thanks so much for being with us. And we'll be back with you in a minute. And by the way, you look pretty good behind my microphone. That's our radio studio. Don't get too comfortable up there, all right?
I'll try not to.
By the way, we will be taking questions throughout the program from viewers and participants across the nation. Email your questions to questions@frc.org, or you can tweet them to @FRCDC. That's @FRCDC. Our mission today is very simple. We will inform Christians across the nation of the clear and present danger to our freedom to believe and live our lives according to those beliefs as Christians here in America. Now, the media would have you believe that these cases are isolated, that they are few, and they are far between. You will see that that is simply not true. We will inspire. You'll be inspired by the courage of Christians of every age and every walk of life who boldly, with humility, are standing for the freedom to believe in America today. And finally, we hope you and your church will be ignited with passion and with purpose to preserve this vital freedom right there in your community. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote over 50 years ago, he said, "The church must be reminded that it is not the master or the servant of the state, but rather the conscience of the state. It must be the guide and the critic of the state, and never its tool," end quote. That should serve as a purpose statement for our culture impact teams as we seek to impact our communities for Jesus Christ.